All right, what's up? It's Ruben from TGE, and in today's video, I want to talk to you about the explosive setup that's happening, or that may happen with SMCI. Explosive setup. All right, I'm going to break down how we're trading it, so you can do the same thing too and capture this move. All right, but first, let's take a look at some of the wins that's been happening within the group. All right, so just 3 days ago, I believe this was the 27th. We actually started taking a lot of money off the table. We start to reduce our exposure because the market's so high up and overextended. So it's good to start taking money, right? So we got Tesla puts, all right, and these were just bangers. We got SPY 60% puts, Tesla 0%, 80% put, and two contracts for 100% puts, which was just awesome. This was on Friday, and then we also started to close some of our shares. All right, so part of that is SMCI. We captured an 8%, pretty much a 7.5% move on that, and then MU shares we closed at 24% on just shares alone. So that was a great trade. All right, when it comes to SMCI, we've been not just trading shares, but we've also been trading leap options and short-term expirations because we're trying to capture the explosive move setup, and we're taking whatever we can from the market at the moment. And I'm gonna break this down for you. All right, I guess I don't know if I mentioned this, but 50% year-to-date performance, beating the S&P 500 by a lot. Right? So if you want to be part of this and you want to be part of this, consider joining the Telegram group if you want to see when we enter, when we exit. Okay, let's get into this so you can do this. All right. So here's the current setup. Now you can see here that I have my key levels here marked 60, 55, 50, 48, 45, and then I have my quarterly targets, which is 61.96. Like the question is like, where am I getting all these levels? Like, how do I know? Am I looking at past data, historical 4-hour time frame, daily time frame, weekly? No. Actually, I'm getting all my data from our tool called Gextron. All right. Gextron literally grabs the entire market option premium for this given security, and then it looks at it, it analyzes it, and says, here are the best key levels because this is what's being forecasted by participants. And then it also takes into consideration implied volatility. Okay, so we have something called expected move. It tells us the expected move for every single stock for every single expiration. And I don't even have to do any guesswork. It just does it all for me. And so now I know what to aim for the quarter before earnings. Then I also know what support and resistance levels are there to in the way of getting to that expected move and so on, right? So let's go back here. What's the game plan? Well, the game plan is very, very simple. The biggest key level, the biggest area of resistance is 50 at the moment. Let's use a different color here. 50. This is the biggest key resistance level. All right. If it can get above it, this can start going to the upside in a very dramatic way, very good way, right? Explosive. So right now we've been trading SMCI. We started around here and we took it to this 50, and then now it came back all the way near 48, and we took it again to 50 on a short-term expiration, right? So we're just playing key level to key level as of right now for the shorter expirations. For the shares and for the leap options, we're aiming for this quarterly expected move. This is the main quarterly price target. If we can aim for this, then this is where I'm going to start taking profits off the leaps position. Okay, but here's the thing with SMCI. SMCI has good growth on their EPS from here until the end of the year, until going into next year. Okay, what that should tell you is that the stock has been beaten down so much. When they have EPS growth, here I'm going to write a note of this here. EPS growth. Actually, let me pull up the NASDAQ website here for you so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. Okay, we're going to look up SMCI. Okay, we're going to go to earnings. All right, here it is. This one's free. All right, you can use this one. There's some other ones that I like a lot that here, I'm gonna just show it to you guys here. This is the EPS growth over the next couple quarters. You can see here that there is growth all the way until Q4 of 2025, okay, near the end of the year. And we still have good growth here into Q1, but that's when it may start dipping down. Typically, like stocks worst performance is typically Q1, Q2. It can get a little bit tricky there. But we have hit the all-time low for EPS. So now the thing is like, okay, we want to capture this entire growth movement, at least the first 2 quarters, right? Because then it stalls out a little bit more here. And we want to capture these two. This is what we want to capture. Let me use a different color. Okay. Now that we know that this company has growth into the future, as long as this stays as is and is projected as from here until the future, then we just want to start playing our key levels and start aiming for those quarterly targets. And again, all these quarterly targets are just being given to me by Gextron. There's a video somewhere in the catalog that shows you like a DIY version. If you want to use that, you can use that. But Gextron has been tweaked so much that it's amazing. It's so accurate. So that's it, right? So here's the thing, like if you want to capture this growth, just look for it to get above 50. That's the as of right now, okay? As of right now, that's the main key level. Now, in the future this can change, okay? So that's why it's important you use tools that use the option premium to kind of update you in when the next biggest key resistance level is coming up if it's to get above 50. All right. But as of right now, if it can get above 50, my main target is 61.96 before the quarter or by earnings day. That's why I got shares and that's why I got leaps. That way I can protect myself in case it draws back or whatever the case is. All right. I hope that was helpful. That was the SMCI trade. If you want to capture this, if you want to trade with me and my team, okay, I'll put a link in the description box for you to give it a shot. And if you want to get access to Gextron, which is my tool, I'll put a link in there as well too for you to give that a shot too. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.